Is it illegal to have a medical marijuana card and own a gun in Arizona? Well, the answer may surprise you. Despite a growing number of states, including Arizona, that have passed laws making medical marijuana legal, the fact remains federal law bans marijuana in all forms. What's more, the Gun Control Act of 1968 states that anyone who uses marijuana is prohibited from possessing firearms or ammo. Federal gun purchasing forms also ask the question, are you an unlawful user of marijuana? And goes on to say the use or possession of marijuana remains unlawful under federal law. Regardless of whether it's been decriminalized for medicinal or recreational purposes in the state you reside, those who check yes to the marijuana question are denied a gun purchase. Critics argue that someone under the influence of alcohol or some prescription drugs are more likely to do something reckless with a gun than someone who uses marijuana. But unless Congress decides to decriminalize weed, Arizonans who want to own a gun and have a medical marijuana card are technically supposed to choose just one.
Puff, puff, give, and keep your guns sounds like it's on the horizon. Welcome to another installment of the Connecticut Gun Bench. Today's video is brought to you by P.A.N. Firearms, LLC. P.A.N. Firearms, for NRA certification and multifaceted gun training. You can reach us at 203-300-6343 or use our website at www.panfirearmsllc.com. As always, there'll be a link in the description box below. If you like channel, like content, what I do here, you can support me with the link. Everything's appreciated. Online store is open. CGB20 will get you 20% off, free shipping. Connecticut residents, you got to pay the sales tax. I have no say in that matter, but CGB20 will get you 20% off. Let's talk about this. And this is the case of the Florida Commission of Agriculture versus the Attorney General of the United States. And the argument behind this case is that legal marijuana use, people with medicinal cards and what have you, should not disclude you from exercising your Second Amendment rights. I'm in full agreement. As long as you're not high as a kite with a gun, I have no problem. It's the same thing with alcohol. If you're drunk as a skunk, I don't want you handling a gun. If you're high as a kite, I don't want you handling a gun. But it shouldn't disclude you from owning a firearm. We all should know this, that the 4473 clearly says illegal drug use. Now, since it's been legalized for medicinal purposes, there's been that gray area because under the Obama administration, use of marijuana was still considered unlawful, whether you had the medicinal card or not. But Trump is now saying that he is, he's open to changing that. As I said, I don't think that medicinal marijuana use should exclude you from your rights, ever. But let me bring you into here. Federal Appeals Court, cannabis patients have gun rights. This is the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. Last week sided with a group of Florida residents who use medical marijuana when it comes to their Second Amendment rights. The case, which I mentioned, Florida Commission of Agriculture versus Attorney General of the United States, was originally filed in 2022, and they're just getting around to a judgment 3 years later. Boy, I say it over and over again, this justice system, boy oh boy. But by the Sunshine State's Democrat AG boss, Nikki Fried, along with several cannabis patients, who argued federal gun laws negated their right to keep and bear arms. Now, district court dismissed the suit and Fried dropped out once she left office. The Atlanta-based 11th Circuit this week vacated the lower court's dismissal and, using the methodology seen in the Bruin case, rejected the federal government's claims that the ban on firearms possession for marijuana users jives with historical law, disarming violent felons and other dangerous individuals. Quote, because both of the federal government's historical analogs fall at the motion to dismiss stage, we conclude it has failed to meet its burden of establishing that the challenged law and regulations are applied to medical marijuana users are consistent with the nation's history and tradition of firearm regulations, said Judge Elizabeth Branch in a 26-page opinion for the panel. Thus, the appellants have plausibly alleged that the challenged statutes and regulation violate the Second Amendment as applied to them. Okay, and Branch is an appointee of President Trump. And another judge, Robert Luck, was a Trump appointee, and Gerald Joflat, who was put on the bench by President Ford. Damn, that dude's been around a while. But after rebooting the case, he remanded back down to the lower court for a further action. Let me come out of that. As we know, marijuana is a Schedule I substance, which means the federal government has regulated it, claiming it's still illegal and unlawful for you to own. But it goes further that even despite the fact you have a medical marijuana card, you cannot own a firearm. I will reiterate what I said before. I do not see this as a reason to deny somebody the Second Amendment rights for medical marijuana use just as much as drinking. If you drink alcohol, don't handle a gun. If you're smoking marijuana medically, don't handle a gun. Very simple, very simple. And you would think that adults could be able to police themselves when it comes to this. So I'm in full agreement with the 11th Circuit Court. We need to end that for people who have medical marijuana cards. But we'll see what happens going forward. It's been kicked back down to the lower court. Let's see what the lower court does. And of course, we're going to go through the rigmarole again. And hopefully it won't be another 3 years when I have to talk about this story again. But let me know what you think. As always, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. And as always, any statements of violence or statements that lead to violence will be removed. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified the next time the video goes live. I'm going to see you on the next one.